Hey, vinyl community, Jeff here again. Time for another thread. There are a lot of these going around. Love supporting other channels, so we're jumping on this one. This one is from Morton Estad. He said you started them in the past and never really went anywhere with them. I saw at least one other respondent to this, which made me think I'm going to get on this one because it sounds kind of fun. So what he wants to see with this one is bands that have self-titled albums that are not their debut album. And, I could immediately think of one or two, but then as I looked a little further, I'm like, there are quite a few of these where bands do that. And there's various reasons, and you can assume, why that might be. But let's get into this. I've got 10. I don't know if he actually said, I don't know if he said you had to have a certain amount. Anyway, I don't know, whatever. The 77s with the album 77s. This is their third album, actually. So I don't know what the reason would be behind this, but the third album by the 77s is called 77s. And this was a recent reissue. When their Kickstarter program went way over budget, they reissued this on a pretty yellow vinyl. So I grabbed that. Now, this one I saw Richard at Richard's Tap House show. Vinyl Tap House, he showed one by this artist, and I thought, well, there's another one by that artist, and we're talking Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar's second album is just called Sammy Hagar. People refer to it as the Red album because this is where the song Red came from. It's got red all over it, but the album is indeed titled Sammy Hagar. First album was 9 on 10 scale, and then the second album on Capitol was just called Sammy Hagar. So yeah, not the debut album. Went from there. So we got a little, and the other one, which I didn't even know this originally, but Richard showed it, but because it's the one I Never Said Goodbye that he did when he was in Van Halen. And I've always known it as that title, but I guess it is simply titled Sammy Hagar. And then later, Richard mentioned that there was an MTV or some contest where they renamed it. So I guess I was unaware of that story. Now I need to go back and look. I think mine might just be the self-titled because it is one of the original vinyl releases, but I think I've had the CD. But anyway, whatever. All right, this is Disciple. This is actually their like 5th or 6th album, and it's just called Disciple. And so yeah, again, I'm not exactly sure why they did that, but they did it. So moving on. David and the Giants. This is probably a little less known. This is kind of like a CCM Christian band, pop type band. But David and the Giants have like, this is their 6th album. They have quite a few albums out. They weren't always a Christian band. They were just a rock band from their area. And they did like a handful of albums before they changed to more of a faith-based music. And I would say this may have been around that time when they did that, but the one before this had a title that sounds Christian too, and I'm not sure when the transition happened, and I don't have any of the albums prior to this one, but this is their 6th album, and it's just called David and the Giants. It's not called Alexander. That's just the guy who owned it before. And here's a band that actually did it twice, Collective Soul. Their 2nd album is called Collective Soul from 1995, as is their, like, I don't know what this is, I forgot the number now. It's up there, 2002. And people refer to it as the Rabbit album. It's called various things, but it's just called Collective Soul. And so, yeah, not on vinyl, or I would own it because I really do love this album. Hope they continue. There's a batch in this area that have never been on vinyl that I'm hoping they do eventually get around to reissuing. And here's one I totally didn't even think about this one until I looked it up. But not the most recent, there is a brand new Helloween album. To me, this is a new Helloween album because the other one just came out. But this is like Helloween's, it depends on how you count live albums or anything, but it's like their 17th album or so, and it's just called Helloween. So I didn't even, when it came out, I could have swore it had a name. But it's just called Helloween. So there's one way in the years. King's X with their 4th album, just entitled King's X. Great album for sure, but it's their 4th. So this one's a little tricky, and I kind of get the idea behind this one, but Mama's Boys. Mama's Boys has 2 albums prior to this, if you don't include the like unofficial bootleg one that came out originally. But they have 2 albums that came out before this, and then this one. This is kind of a U.S. first, a compilation for the U.S. where they've taken some songs from those first 2 albums, added some new stuff, and made this new album for the American audience. And so I can kind of see how this was kind of like a debut in a sense. But they do have 2 full albums before this, and then this is their first like U.S. release in that sense. But it's their 3rd album, so stretching it a little bit. Up next, their 6th album, Motley Crue. And again, I can see the reason for this. New singer, new sound. Let's change it to a debut. It's like the debut album of a new band. But Motley Crue did it with the Motley Crue album many years later. And the last one I've got is Queensryche's 13th album. It depends on if you count the covers and all that stuff in there. But and again, change of singers, change of sound. I can see him kind of like a start over with a new, just calling it Queensryche. So, but again, it is their album Into the Teens. So yeah. So there you go, Morton. So check it out. I'll have a link below to his channel. You can jump on this, show some fun, have some fun with this, and let's support other people. And I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.